Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota be Lakers of Prado. For over and off-road, Toyota be Lakers of Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota be Lakers of Prado. That's why you can collect it one for a sale or your company car in the Prado. You get too much luggage, electrical power, steering control, the car got Prado. You can't lose Toyota with new generation of cars and Lakers of Prado that one of the stars. You got motor selling Toyota cars, so if you want Prado, you jelly to ask. Yeah, for over and off-road, Toyota be Lakers of Prado. I can run in the mud and sand, Toyota be Lakers of Prado. Toyota has brought a brand new Land Cruiser that is called Prado. And the Prado has a very beautiful design and it has a high power engine that can run in mud in heavy sand. And Siga Moto is the sole distributor of the latest Land Cruiser Prado. Siga Moto get the best garage in Liberia that can service, repair, and sell brand new parts. The thing that you can call spare part. Siga Moto own a part they can come directly from the Toyota company in Japan. And Siga Moto is located on Brujo Island in Seyon community, right around Lokitan West 2.
Internet service, fast, reliable service for your home and your office. Unlimited service with the best coverage. You better choose Connect. Choose Connect.
Attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenwares you can think about. From the bedroom, we have top-of-the-line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it, and soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, furniture, and everything you can think about for the home. All that at unbelievable prices. We even have low voltage, high quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old. Designer quality bags, hats, and rare jewelries. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. You can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home for the love of a classy home.
Waiting for LEC token you purchased since last week? Wait no more. Dial *156 *44# and enter your meter number to get your token instantly. Enjoy ease and convenience with MTN Mobile Money.
Welcome back here to the OK Morning Rush on 99.5. Today is Wednesday and it is the 8th of January 2025. It's good to go. Those of you celebrating your birthdays today, we'd like to say happy birthday to all of you. If yours is pending, like mine, we wish you well. We pray you celebrate in grand style. Samuka Keita is watching us, I'm sure, from Zuedru there, Smart FM, Jacob, Moan, Kui. Good morning, Clarence, a pleasant. Sony Wing community, congratulations to the people of Ghana for having a new government for the next 4 years. Fatou Sharif is watching. Joshua Bean is watching. Augustine Cole joins us from Maryland County. Is it Maryland County? Lucini Kamara follows us from Caldwell. Vamoya K. Bayo is joining us from wherever he is. M. Ayuba Kane, Jian, good morning to OK Morning Rush, regular listening audience, and good morning to you, Mr. Jackson. Good morning. Francis Kileko Vayaba, Otelo Sua, Alex Dizo is joining us from China. Good morning, Alex, and say good morning to all of our friends, our brothers and sisters studying with you in China. Good morning to all of you. Isaac Mensa Armstrong has joined in. Sylvester Sokan Sr., James M. Cannon, Abdullahi Gaddafi has joined in. Ladybird S. Holder, P. Isa Tali has joined in. Martin Gofa is joining in from Point 4 Junction. It says Honorable Kafia Peking is joining in from Banka. Ama Undebe is joining in from District number 15. David Moluba Obidayo J. Moyene is joining in. Ismail Perry has joined. Harris Morris Trukon Monde has joined us. Augustine Vasco Tamba joining. Kiliman Senior has joined. Yudu and Miller. And to all of you who've joined us via OKFM 99.5 and OKTV, we'd like to say good morning to all of you. Tomorrow, January 9th, will be the birthday of our reporter assigned at the Ministry of Information, Culture Affairs and Tourism, and he's the president of the journalists covering that place. Maurice Willeti will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow. Today, Robert Jodu Clark and his wife, Quebec Clark, celebrate 14 years of marriage. Robert, happy 14th anniversary to you. 14 years of marriage, but not 14 years together. They've been together for many, many, many years, but today is their 14th wedding anniversary. As I listen to the different teasers this morning, sometimes I just sit aside and laugh, especially when I hear, Andrew Peters on Junior's show. The man murdered me. I said I was murdered. I like all these soundbites. But money, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'll tell you. This morning from 8:30 to now, we'll play host to Toli Kra. Toli Kra is a Liberian residing in Boston. He will tell us about a movement, other things in the new year, probably what's going to happen. Reverend Toli Kra is the man championing a call for free American visa to all Liberians. He thinks we deserve it. We're not supposed to beg for it. He's been on this thing for many, many, many years. 8:30 to now, I will talk to Reverend Toli Kra from the US. 9 o'clock, the minority leader or the leader of a group of lawmakers under the banner Rule of Law lawmakers, Musa Bility, Nima County Representative Musa Hassan Bility will be here as our guest at 9. We'll go to Lofa to talk to our colleague Jim Collick there, our correspondent. What's going on there about this news about people burning the court and one small police, a police boot or whatever in Lofa. I know he spoke to Julius yesterday, but for the benefit of our audience this morning, our listeners this morning, we will call James Collick to give us additional information about that. So yesterday, more than 30 African heads of states participated or attended the inauguration of Ghana's president now, John Dramani Mahama, who was inaugurated yesterday in the midst of several current and former leaders of the region. I saw former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. In Africa, most of the leaders would now call him Baba. I saw Olusegun Obasanjo or Baba, and I saw former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, a highly respected figure in Africa. In fact, he's the current head of the ECOWAS Council of Elders. The ECOWAS Council of Elders is a composition of former presidents from around here. Also in attendance was the Iron Lady of Africa, Liberia's first female president, Oprah Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was there. Former South African President Jacob Zuma was there. The military leader from Burkina Faso, is it Mali? Is this the guy, the young guy, the guy from where? He's the guy from Burkina Faso. That guy seemed to be gaining a lot of admiration around here because of some of the things he's doing in Burkina Faso, for example. You know, he was there, and other leaders were there. You know, President John Dramani Mahama. I was talking to an official of the National Democratic Congress of Ghana, and a friend of mine was telling me that the president will put the vice president in charge of education, not necessarily as the minister, but I think as to play some supervisory role in charge of education and health. And he said to me that they're intending to establish something called the Women's Development Bank that will be spearheaded by the vice president. That bank, I'm told, will lead efforts for small and medium businesses in Ghana, especially headed by women, to give more money out to these women so that they get money and be able to expand their businesses. It's going to be called the Women Development Bank. That's what I'm told. President Dramani Mahama has said in the next 2 weeks, he would have completed setting up his entire cabinet. In fact, the man has kicked the ground running. Before his inauguration yesterday, he's made several appointments around him. I think these appointments focus exactly in the office of the president. President Mahama, before his inauguration yesterday, appointed Julius Debra as his chief of staff. He appointed Dr. Colitus Mahama. I'm sure this president have got some relationship with him. Dr. Colitus Mahama, executive secretary to the president. Prosper Douglas Bani, head of the interim security task force. Dr. Valerie Sawyer, senior presidential advisor for governmental affairs. Augustus Gussie Tannen, presidential advisor responsible for 24-hour economy and accelerated export development. Mahama also appointed Marietta Ajiwa's Bird, legal counsel to the president of Ghana, and Honorable Phyllis Kwaki Ofosu as the spokesperson to the office of the president. So the president of Ghana, before the inauguration, kicked the ground running. He has set up, in other words, his office. He has set up his office because he knows that from day one, like today, he's going to work and he will start to function. And you cannot function in the absence of the setting up of an office. So he's appointed a legal counsel, he's appointed as executive secretary, he's appointed a chief of office staff, he's appointed a spokesperson to the office of the president. So he has set up the entire office. And I can imagine how this morning the guys, the men and women, the qualified men and women are going to be rushing to go to work. Because you got to go set the place already set up, but you got to go before the president's arrival. And the president's going to be starting day one. So he said in the next 2 weeks, he would have completed the appointment of members of his cabinet. His vice president, I'm told, is a well-respected Nigerian professor. She was Minister of Education at some point when Dramani Mahama was then president. Professor Dr. Jean Nana Opoku Ajima.
is Ghana's first female vice president. She's there now, leading the charge, trying to establish a women development bank, leading the charge, That's okay. Let's see how Dramani Mahama will lead. He's got nothing to lose, like the Ghanaian politician said, because this is his second and final term. He's not going back. 4 years in office. Rationally, 3 years, we can say 3.5 years probably. So if he thought he didn't straighten Ghana before and he wanted to straighten up Ghana now, this is a perfect opportunity for Dramani Mahama to do so. In Uganda, yesterday, I was just talking about Chisa Besigye, the long-time Ugandan politician and President Yoweri Museveni, and I said I was concerned about the way Museveni is treating others and how he wanted himself and his family, his children to be treated because one day he's going to leave power. Now, yesterday, the case against Chisa Besigye resumed in a military tribunal, but the case could not go ahead. The rest of his lawyers said they could not go anywhere further with the case because while the case was ongoing, the military moved inside the court, brutalized one of the lawyers. According to the lead counsel, the Chisa Besigye have got about 32 lawyers representing him in that case. They are being led by the former Justice Minister of Kenya. I just forgetting her name. But the legal team is headed by the former Justice Minister of Kenya. And I listened to her this morning talk to the VOA that while they were in the courtroom, a group of soldiers moved in and they brutalized one of the lawyers representing Chisa Besigye. In fact, they have sentenced him to 9 months in prison without due process, without any explanation whatsoever. And so the legal team of the 31 other lawyers said, no, we're not going anywhere further. Injury to one of us is injury to all of us. So we're not going anywhere further. We have to go and re-strategize and see as to how best, we can engage the case. So that is it. President Mahama, President Mahama has promised he will reset the Ghanaian button. He says he will reset the Ghanaian button. He will reset the economy. He promised Ghana a 24-hour economy, an economy that will be active, that will be moving, and stuff like those. Is the president back home, my friends? Somebody just sent me text. If the president has come back home, I want to see something. I didn't follow the one here too well. I don't know whether the president is back home. So, happy birthday to all of you. Yesterday we had some electricity problem. We were about to talk. Yesterday I said I was going to talk about the asset recovery team from another perspective. Even though at a point we can get divided as a nation and people, but there are always times that all of us can agree on a particular subject. All of us in this context, a very good portion of our population or a vast majority of our population. We can reach a point, So let me go to the mansion. Okay, the mansion is saying the president is expected home today. So I'm going to keep, like the AFL thing I talked about yesterday, I'm going to keep it. I want the commander-in-chief to come back home. We pray the president return home safely. So like I was saying yesterday, there's always a time when Liberians will agree on something. And if you went across this country to ask Liberians about why they think the country is not developed to the standard they thought it would be, if you ask them about poor basic social services in the country, whether it was the lack of effective electricity, whether it is about creating the enabling environment for students to learn, whether it is about our health sector, education, and what have you, they will attribute it to one thing. And most of the people will attribute it to corruption. So in other words, while we may come from different schools of thoughts and different political establishment and what have you, one thing that all of us have agreed on is that Liberia is the way it is because of corruption. And all of us have said
None of our leaders have been so bold with that energy and political will to really fight corruption. When Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took over in 2005, she promised Liberia and the world that corruption would have been her number one public enemy. The world celebrated. Liberia celebrated. In fact, when Ellen announced her first cabinet, Liberia shook. At the end of her 12 years term, what did she say? She referenced corruption as something that she was not able to fight. She referenced the fight against corruption as something that she was not able to achieve. And she said she wasn't also able to reconcile the country. Former President Taylor would say he wasn't also able to reconcile the country. But at least all of them talk about the issue of corruption. Now, when President George Weah came to power, he says, do not listen to the eloquence in my speeches, but the quality of the decision I'll be making. He started on a very good note. In this case, I'm talking about in the context of the fight against corruption. President Weah started well. When the president set up an asset recovery team, it was headed by, I think, Councillor Arthur Johnson, the former Solicitor General, Councillor Serenia Cephas, and all these people were on it. Too much energy. They started going some other places around the world. They were setting up. The country started celebrating them because we believe they would have gotten in a process, of course, using due process and the rule of law, to have recovered some of Liberia, quote unquote, what we perceived as some of our stolen assets, some of our stolen resources. And there are a lot of information about, somebody sold Liberian embassy in one country, there were one plane belonging to Liberia, somebody sold the plane, and all kinds of stories we're hearing. So when President Weah set up the asset recovery team, we all of us celebrated because we believe it was a good thing. But as time was gradually going by, in fact, before President Weah, former President Sirleaf set up something like that. I think it was headed by Funanti Kofa, with jurisdiction on the silver mining, all the kind of thing. Then it passed, then George Weah did his. While some people were still celebrating, we thought we were trying to reset the button to fight corruption. All of a sudden, that asset recovery team, whatever went wrong, only them know, is it went the way it went. Arthur Johnson, I think he stepped aside from it for a reason best known to himself and all the kind of thing. After coming on board with all the energy and all of us said, yes, this is the best thing. Probably we will retrieve some of our stolen wealth. We'll retrieve some of the assets or the country's assets in different countries. We didn't get any if and any again about that whole asset recovery team. It went the way it went. President Weah left. President Boakai is in. Issued an executive order setting up an asset recovery team headed by Councillor Edwin Martin, Dr. Rennie Jackson, and others are on board. Now, that asset recovery team is supposed to be the team that will use hard facts, real evidence, the rule of law that will ensure due process to investigate and send people to court on different allegations. For stealing monies belonging to the country, for stealing the country's assets and all these kinds of things. The energy they came with. They started first working with, the transitional team, working with the GSA. They started doing some work. Boom. An institution, Gracious Rag, took them to court, challenging the constitutionality of the asset recovery team, which is good. I've always said I celebrate anybody that will go to court. No matter what people say about the court system, or the court system is like this, the court system is like this, no nation in the world can survive and make progress without a strong rule of law regime. So I celebrate people who go to court. So Gracious Ra did the right thing to go to court. But it is not about Gracious Ra.
And this is where I want the Supreme Court and the justices on the Supreme Court bench to look at this thing and say, look, we need to put this case on the docket. We need to hear this case or whatever. We need to make a determination in this matter. Because listen, it has been at the court for 8 solid months. It means for 8 solid months, the asset recovery team has never been able to work. Yeah, never been able to work in this context. What I mean is probably while all this thing going on, they're gathering evidence, maybe they're going other places in the world, they're talking to partners, they're doing the thing. That one is but I strongly believe, had it not been for the court case, their work would have been visible by now. But the court case is embarrassing the asset recovery team. So let the court hear the case once and for all. If the asset recovery team is illegal and that the president had no prerogative whatsoever prescribed in our laws for setting up such an institution, then all of us do. Then we close the other chapter. If they come into being of an asset recovery team, which I believe the court cannot keep all in suspense. The court let justice be done to all men. And it's a temple of justice. When people go there, they must get justice. Justice in this case would mean you do not necessarily have to be right. But even if you are convicted, that justice has been served. So I'm calling on Justice Yo and all these people to ensure the one asset recovery, their case here can be heard and determination can be made. Because too many things are happening. Look, if in the event the court grants the go ahead to the asset recovery team and say it is legal, move ahead. And even Councillor Eric Clarence and his team, if he and his team can even be able to retrieve $10 million, $20 million, 30, whatever money they retrieve, we are making progress as a country. You see in Sierra Leone, the Anti-Corruption Commission, the young lawyer Francis Ben Kafala, when he took over, he brought in a very different approach. He said, well, no, a lot of Sierra Leoneans say, yeah, prosecute the people, they are rogues, they are criminals. But I think the way the young guy saw it, he said, listen, prosecution, I don't think should be my focus. I want to retrieve Sierra Leone's stolen monies. So what I'm going to do, my commission, the Anti-Corruption Commission will encourage people to come and sit with us. Come and sit with us, let's have a conversation. And tell us, because we already got the facts, we got the evidence. We go to court, we'll prosecute, we'll convict you. But so come and sit with us. Right now, our focus is to retrieve our money. Come and sit with us. Let's talk about a payment plan. Tell how you get our money. That boy was able to raise billions of Sierra Leonean money for the country. I don't know what kind of model or the asset recovery team will use in the event, they win. It won the case at the Supreme Court. But the point I'm making is, we cannot have asset recovery team on early. We didn't get any hay and tea for inside. President, we have set up another asset recovery team. We didn't get any hay and tea for inside. Joseph Boakai set up asset recovery team and started working in Inco, then he get hish. I know there are a lot of speculations that probably there are strong people in the country who want no asset recovery team set up because they know what they've done to the country. I don't go with these kinds of gossip because I always believe there is a rule of law regime. Yeah. You see, the due process is the process that's supposed to hear before it condemns. So we don't start making bold allegations and accusing people without facts and just randomly accusing people all over the place. No, that is not my kind of thing. My thing is, let the court hear the case and make a determination in the matter, then we move forward. We have been receiving a lot of information about the Catholic school system. And I just received but I will send him a message probably after the show. I will reach out to him so we can have a conversation. I'm told one Reverend Father P. Smo Vafi Monluba is the secretary of the Catholic Education Secretariat. In this case, he's like the Minister of Education for the Catholic school system. I'll reach out to him. A lot of parents have reached out to me either with text messages or phone calls to let me know that for one solid month now, their kids are not in school, or whenever their kids go to school, no teacher. Most of the parents are telling me the teachers in the Catholic schools are protesting for better salary and other things. A lot of them reached out to me last night again that for the past 1 month, the children in the Catholic schools are not learning anything. No teacher to teach the children, and so I have to reach out. I will actually reach out to Mr. Monova to find out as to whether what the parents are telling me is true. And I know one parent reached out to me and said, for example, my child is in the 12th grade. They're supposed to be sitting once. For the past 1 month, almost like they're not learning anything. If this is true, and if that is the case, it will affect them, especially the ones that are supposed to be sitting these public exams. And in fact, by extension, all of them. All of them. All of them. All of them. We have a long time from 8 to 8:30 all over the place. The late American president, former president Jimmy Carter, I think the battle is now in Washington, D.C. I'm told one of those who was a friend to the late President Carter is Dr. Larry Brooklyn. So at some point, I'll call Brooklyn, to talk about what he remembered about the late Jimmy Carter, what kind of closeness he had with Jimmy Carter, and all these kinds of things. Like I said, I want to talk something particularly about the military, but I'm not going to talk it now until the president is in country. We are hearing former Finance Minister Boakai Kamara has secured for himself a very good opportunity at ECOWAS after a serious competitive vetting process. ECOWAS has appointed him, the first Liberian former finance minister, to head the ECOWAS monetary agency. That's a good news. Very good news for Liberia. Congratulations to former finance minister Boakai Kamara. I'm happy to hear that because the way people were talking about his sickness and all the kind of thing, now that he's well, he's able to compete, in the process is a good news for our country. Boema, not Boakai, but Boema Kamara. Boema Kamara. I'm happy for Boema Kamara. I know the current finance minister, Augustine Gafwan, used to be the country manager of the African Development Bank in Uganda, in Yoweri Museveni's Uganda. So we are making strides. Liberians are brilliant people, and that is the reason why sometimes for leadership of the country, we must get the best among the best. We must get the brightest of all of our minds. My friends, welcome. This is the OK Morning Rush. We're trying to get to Lofa County to talk to our correspondent, James Colley, to give us a picture of what the whole Lofa situation is about. What led to the burning of the court, why the people burned the court, and all these kinds of things. James is on the line. Jimmy, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
James, where are you?
I'm in Vonjama this morning.
You're in the city of Vonjama. How is Vonjama this morning? Is it cold or what?
Vonjama is very cold this morning. This is
Wow. Wow. How is that famous place on the road to Foya? Is it what, under the tree or what?
Under the tree.
Yeah, under the tree. I know I'm not forgetting the name. Now, James, give us a picture of what's the issue in that Vonjama with this burning of the court. What's surrounding it? What are the issues?
Yeah, well, yesterday, when citizens reacted after receiving the information of a murder suspect, Yapauru Mosima, who died in cell. So the citizens of Governmental yesterday somewhere in Johnstown, calling on the police to explain to them how their son died in cell while ongoing investigation. But their action turned different after they had meeting to destroy all of the government facilities in Johnstown. Later, they reconsidered their decision to exclude the school from there. So they went ahead to destroy where the police and other security apparatus normally use. They point the place and also moved to the magisterial court, also point the place. On yesterday, police made an attempt to move in, but the way they saw the tension, they also left because they were warned that the next time they may attempt to go Johnstown, they will burn the car. So the police had no option but to leave. Even us as journalists, we were attacking the process. They took one of our camera phone. So we were not allowed to do any recording. And later they threatened that they were going to harm even journalists if we stay around. So at the end of the day, we left the scene and came back to Vonjama.
No.
But they threatened to extend to Vonjama yesterday. We were waiting up to 10 o'clock. We didn't see it happening. So we're still waiting this morning as to whether they will extend to Vonjama as was threatened yesterday.
Now, so a woman's body was discovered, or a woman was killed, or a woman died, and then they accused 5 persons. Am I correct?
Yeah, 5 individuals arrested.
So it is the 5 individuals who were arrested and were being detained at the police holding cell, right?
Yeah, in Vonjama.
So the guy who, I don't know, allegedly died in a holding cell, whatever, was one of the 5 accused of allegedly killing the woman.
Sure, yeah. So he was picking among the 5 as a prime suspect by the investigators based on the statement they took from him.
Okay,
so he decided to separate him from his colleagues for him not to be influenced by his testimony.
So how many days did he spend in a holding cell when he was discovered dead?
Right after the New Year, that was on the 3rd, they brought the 5 of them. So it was on the 3rd, from the 3rd to yesterday.
No.
So that was.
So it is because of the discovery of his body that the citizens went on the rampage to do what they did, right?
Yeah, sure. Because of that, they are accusing the police of being responsible for his death.
I want you to say that again. Where is this place where the coat was burnt? How do you call the place?
Johnstown.
Okay.
Johnstown.
Now, James, I am still sitting here very confused. What is the connect between woman discovered dead, people accused of killing the woman, 5 of them arrested? One of them is a prime suspect because of his testimony he provided with police preliminary investigation. Probably he's being kept pending court trial. And then the citizens, later on, after a few days, he's discovered dead himself. The citizens got angry. They burned a small police facility. How did the whole court business come in? That's where my confusion is.
So yesterday they had a meeting, in fact, because they began with the roadblock. After some time, they said, since no local authority has visited them in the area, they had a meeting. The angry citizens, they had a meeting. And they came up with a decision to burn all government facilities in Johnstown. And the court is also a government facility there. So that was the decision they made. But later, some other people came in and said, look, government, don't forget about the school. So they went ahead to destroy the 2 government facilities that they had there.
Now, come to think about it, unfortunately, James, according to you, they were threatening you guys, and so you did not have the opportunity to talk to any of them. I wish I had that kind of opportunity to talk to some of them on the phone. But now, come to think about it, a woman is discovered dead. The police arrested 4 persons, charged 1 as a prime suspect. Justice is beginning. The police will investigate and send people to court. The citizens themselves want people to go to court because they want accountability for the death of the woman. But here, on the other hand, they are burning public facilities. So in the event the man is supposed to go to court, what kind of court they will get? I mean, I don't understand. Were you able to even talk to, what were they saying in the midst of all the things they were doing?
They said police should explain to them why their son died in cell. So it is easier to explain it now. The way in which they staged the protest, so no one could even talk to them. Police went in to have a meeting. After sitting in the town hall, we just saw a group of young boys coming. There's no meeting. And they disrupted the whole process. And later police were forced to leave the scene. Even we saw one vehicle, LMP from that Banga in. I don't know where they come from, whether it was from Zozo or
I
from
think
Banga.
it was actually from the Banga regional hub.
Yeah, the guy stopped and they started shooting tear gas. Later, the protesters moved on them and they forced them to leave. They asked them that the next time you may attempt to enter with this guy in Johnstown, we're going to burn it. So they had no option. They also left. So the whole ground was very tense yesterday.
Johnstown is supposed to be in the Zosa district area represented by Augustine Chiulu. Am I correct?
No, Johnstown is under district number 4.
Represented by whom?
Honorable Gizzy Collins.
Gizzy Collins. Do you know whether he has spoken to it? Do you know whether he's moved in there? He has spoken to radio stations there to call for calm, or any of your senators?
They will be addressing the public this morning. The Internal Affairs Minister is expected to speak this morning, and even the caucus is expected to speak this morning regarding the issue.
How are Lofians in Vanjama reacting or responding to this?
You know, when these kinds of things happen, the blame has been shifted on the police. Entirely, all of the callers will receive loudly on the different radio stations question the police. Why someone will be under your custody and they will let them hang themselves in cell. So entirely, citizens are shifting blame on the Liberian National Police and not even thinking about condemning the action of what happened yesterday.
That's why I wanted to ask. I wanted to say, are they also not speaking to the fact that is not any reason for people to burn facilities down?
The attention is not really on that because burning the police station and the court has nothing to do with the justice you're calling for. I don't know what will it relate to burning the court and that of the police station. Okay,
James, thank you so much for filling us in from Vanjaman. James Colley is our Lofa County correspondent. You know, there's something all of us are letting out, and I think the government must take charge. Probably the Ministry of Internal Affairs can lead this one along with the Ministry of Justice, but to also include more civil society organizations. The government must now begin, and civil society organizations must also begin to write project proposals asking for money to do serious community awareness. The issue of mob violence and all these kinds of things is getting bad in the country. So in the first place, may their souls rest in peace. A woman is killed. I don't know, a woman is murdered or a woman is found dead. And then in the process of that, the police did not sit idle. The police arrested 5 persons. And out of the police preliminary investigation, the police placed one person in a primary suspect category. Now, there are reasons why the police will do certain things. When the police arrest you, sometimes you become a person of interest, and then later on, probably you will transition to becoming a suspect. But when they place you in that category of a primary suspect, it means that whatever you told the police is giving the police some clue that probably you know exactly or you know something about it. So the police place somebody in a primary suspect category. The police is keeping the person in his holding cell. Out of a sudden, the person is discovered dead. So you accuse the police, okay, the police, maybe you say the police negligence, the police is supposed to be here 24 hours, how can the man kill himself? But these are the things. If I were you, you would be calling for the police to investigate, to do further investigation about how the man killed himself. Maybe you want to call for an autopsy. An autopsy will not say who did the killing, but an autopsy will establish the cause of the death. Then when an autopsy establishes the cause of the death, it will give you, it will direct you for the next course of action. So you can call on the police leadership to investigate. You call it, but now I'm still missing it out about how the court got in. Because at the end of the day, the court and the prison will be the end result. They may supposed to be formally charged and sent to court for prosecution. But because you say the other people now. So the man died in the prison. So you burn the police holding cell. And then you burn the court. You burn the court. So in the coming months and in the coming weeks, when there are issues in that Johnstown, how do you go to court now? No court. You ran the magistrates out of the place because you burned the court. So in our town now, when people do something to somebody should take colors and the other person take color and they fight because no court. You burn the court. You burn the police place. Are you serious? But yeah, you calling for justice. Oh. You calling for justice, but you burn the police place and you burn the court, but you still calling for justice. So we need to direct some of our energy to sensitizing our people. That look, all of these things will not do you anything. You will only destroy public infrastructure, and in the worst case, maybe they will take some money from the county development money to rebuild. But the people who are burning these places are the same people who are calling for justice. Their son died in prison. They want justice, but they're burning places. How do you get that kind of justice? Look, the life of a single Liberian is an attention to all of us. When one single Liberian dies, under any mysterious circumstances, it's supposed to concern all of us. But we can't resort to doing that. When we want justice, we must have patience. We must engage. And we can agitate without burning down the place. So the guy was discovered dead, while the citizens peacefully assembled in Vonjema to claim the county police commander and the superintendent's attention. That look, one of our sons was accused of killing a woman, but he's discovered in prison. He's dead. Not in prison, in the police holding cell. He's discovered dead. So you can march onto Vonjema. You can peacefully assemble in front of the administration building and call the attention of Superintendent Lavallee massacre. And then you can start the process from there. But when you appropriate the authority you do not have unto yourself to burn the police place and burn the court, and then you at the same time won't hold the police responsible because the man died in the prison, then I don't get it. Let's be safer, my people. These violent things will not carry the country anywhere. We have had some of the worst violence around here. It didn't do any good. Today, we're still complaining we can't have 24-hour LEC is because of the war. We destroy those structures. I don't like to reference the war. We've gone 23 solid years following the 23 or 25 what we were there about, following the sensational hostilities in the country. But the point I'm making is, have we not fight war here? We will not have gotten where we are. Already, most of the infrastructures in the country, we are not 100% there yet. Some of these structures we are burning. Our friends are helping us to construct them. They're using their taxpayers' money to construct them, but we are burning them. We are using our own resources to construct some of these facilities, but we are burning them. But the irony is, the same people who will be burning these places are the same people who will be accusing other people of the wrongdoing and calling for justice. How can you burn a place and in your call for justice, you burn somewhere, but you want justice, but you burn another place? What's that? So all of us have a responsibility to educate our people, to sensitize our people, if possible in our vernaculars. We must have jinkos on the radio. That's why I say the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the Ministry of Justice must take charge of. They must take the lead. Civil society organizations must begin to develop project proposals that will be directed at the whole issue of educating people about the dangers associated with taking the laws into their own hands. We can talk all about arguments about the court and the way justice is from the perspective of an individual, because it depends on who you talk to. But let's learn to use the rule of law. Look, I will end here. The Liberia National Fire Service and the Liberia National Police, you got to come out and tell us something, tell the country something. What happened to that Capitol building there? You got to say something. You can't be quiet. And when people ask, oh yeah, we investigating, we want, listen, we're not telling us go into your main investigation, but tell us something. Express us. Tell us where are we? The fire service. You must be able to say something. You are investigating. You're supposed to have the expertise in telling us the cause of that fire incident at the Capitol building. Probably not necessarily who did it. I'm talking about the side of the fire service. But your conspicuous silence on this matter is not helping us. You will leave people speculating all over the place because you were just silent. That day, y'all went there with the help of other people, y'all put the fire off. That was good. But we are now interested in the next chapter. What in burn our place? That gas, that electrical problem, somebody left plastic bed there. That what? We want to know. We need to know. It is our right to know. The police, you've started investigation. What's going on? In some of the most developed countries in the world, in some of the most developed countries in the world, the police can give up to the minute update to the people. We're not asking you to give us up to the minute update. But we're going almost 2-3 weeks now. Nobody say anything to anybody. The government must speak through these agencies. You must tell us, don't keep us just quiet. Oh, so y'all want the thing to just be another thing again? I'm told serious renovation is currently taking place at our Capitol building, the Senate wing. So how can you ain't telling what you're just keeping everybody? The police not talking to. I understand. I think the Inspector General on Prime. I'll try to see what I can invite the Inspector General Gregory Coleman probably tomorrow or maybe Monday or anytime next week. But the point is, you don't have to come. You can come on the show. You can come on any radio. But there are medium. The police can do press conference. The police can do press releases. Tell us where are we? How many persons are being arrested in connection with the whole fire incident? Are you making some serious breakthrough? What stage are we now with the investigation? Have we concluded? Are you at the stage of at the stage of charging people now to send them to court? What should we expect? We're not saying who named the person calling, who sending, or we're not sending. We're not saying who are the people. We just say, tell us something. Maybe we arrested 5 persons. The investigation is ongoing. They are collaborating very well. We are getting some leads, and we'll update the public in subsequent time. You tell us something. Fire service, you tell us something. You tell us something. You don't keep us like this. When you keep us like this, and everybody start all over the place, people start saying, oh, the other person, that why you don't leave room for plenty speculation, man. You say something. You restore our hope. We are hopeless at this stage. Because we know what happened to that Capitol building. We are hopeless. If people are responsible, let them pay. Let the Lord take his course. This is the OK Morning Rush, resetting the Liberian button. My name is Piso. So I have with me now Reverend Dr. Larry Brooklyn, somebody who was one way or the other, a friend or probably somebody who admired former President Jimmy Carter, saw him, interacted with him. Today, the body, as I'm sure, is in Washington, pending all the big state funerals and all these kinds of things. And then he will now go to his home where he will be buried. Dr. Brooklyn, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, Clarence, and good morning to all my mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers listening to us this morning. It's a lovely day in our nation's capital. We pray for safe return of our president and all those who have gone to the inauguration of President Muhammad to return peacefully, safely, and to all of our people. And indeed, a prayer for the Carter family of Plains, Georgia, the United States.
Yes, it's Georgia. I'm told the body is currently in Washington, D.C. Carter lived his life, man. He died at the age of 100. He was impactful, not only in America, but mostly in Africa. The Carter Center has been a lot. I'm told, somebody told me, you were a little bit, one way or the other, close to President Carter. Either you interacted with him before, you admired him too. What can you say about him at this critical time?
Clarence, President Carter was a global citizen, a man with deep compassion for humanity. He and his wife, Rosalind, were two of the world's best dignified Christians who cared more for others. And he was ultra religious. His faith was carried as a breastplate. And so he truly believed in doing unto others as you like them to do unto you. And that Jesus said, if you did it for the least of these, you've done it for me. I was blessed to have met President Carter. I was blessed to have attended his worship service, church service, and to sit in Sunday school. I had great admiration for him, and he talked to me. I was also fortunate to have been able to visit his home right outside of Plains, Georgia. And also, when I was the Minister of Information, I was invited by President Carter to the US to talk about Africa, to talk about Liberia. And I was amazed as to how much he knew about Liberia. He told me about his visit to Liberia when President Talbot was president. And I joked him and I said, I understand you went there because you wanted the CIA to do certain things. And we laughed. And he said, Liberia will always be a point of interest for the United States. This was a selfless man. One of the things that he gave me, amongst many other things, was the Nobel Peace Prize lecture that he gave. And he delivered that on December 10 in 2002, Clarence. And in this book, he wrote, to my son, to a young man of great promise, to Minister Bropley, with thanks for your support. And he signed it, Jimmy Carter. This is one of my prized possessions amongst the one that I got from the Pope and other leaders across the world that I have in my home library, because I remember President Carter and his wife as people who cared for the world. Clarence, he carried me and showed me how he figured out where to go and what to do. And he told me about trips to Nigeria, to Uganda, and all of these places. And I asked him, and I said, why do you do it? And then he retorted, he said, why shouldn't I do it? I cannot rest easy until I do these for the rest of the world. He said, let me tell you something. If the rest of the world is uneasy, America will be uneasy. If the rest of the world is in turmoil, America will be in turmoil. He said, so let's help our neighbors to become like we are.
And Dr. Brooklyn, that's where I was coming. You know, a lot of presidents will retire and then after they go on their farm as private citizens with no other impact, only that they've served their countries. It is not just about Africa, even the great America. Did President Carter tell you why he decided to go too much into extending help and establishing the Carter Center that will now become a global institution of impact around the world? Why couldn't he sit on his farm in Georgia and probably just enjoy his life?
The great Clarence Jackson is almost like you were there. Because I asked him that question. I said, well, listen, you've been president of the greatest country in the world. He said, when I was president, I didn't work. And I was like, what? He said, no, I didn't work. He said, when I was president, I was programmatic. He said, being programmatic is in absentia from the feeling, the dreams, and the aspirations of the people. He said, when I left the presidency, and then he said to me, he said, but you know, I wanted to be president the second time around. And I said, what happened? He said, that's a long story, but I'm okay now. He said, so I decided, Rosa and I said, what do we do outside of Washington? Then I asked him, I said, but they told me that you really didn't fancy Washington and that you were outside of the box when you went to Washington. He said, exactly. He said, I wanted to do things that nobody had done and only dream about. He said, but I got to do those things after I left the White House. And I said to him, have you lived a fulfilled life? He said, not yet. Clarence, I was amazed.
Wow.
He said, not yet. This was a man of depth, humanistic passion. And I said, well, when will you live it? He said, the day I stopped nailing the roof, the day I stopped ushering people into new homes, but the day that I lie in my coffin, then I shall have worked for humanity.
Wow.
Jimmy Carter impacted my life. You know, Clarence, I have been blessed, imperfect as I am. I have been blessed by being in close proximity and people having admiration for me and I for them. These are things that I tell my children, that in life, it's not what you accomplish, it's not what you accumulate.
Mm-hmm.
It is how you share, who you are, what you have, and your experiences that will seek change and transformation in the lives of other people. If I were to die tomorrow, and I'm not asking God to rush me, but if I were to die tomorrow, Clarence, I have absolutely no regrets, because I believe that I have done the best that I could for God's people and God's world. And Liberia remains on my mind.
Dr. Brooklyn, thank you so much this morning for remembering your friend and your big brother in that manner. It was good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Clarence. He was wonderful. One of the many fathers across the world that I had. And may his soul and the souls of all those who have faithfully departed through the mercy of God rest in perfect peace.
Thank you, Dr. Larry Brooklyn, trying to remember his friend and big brother, Jimmy Carter. Let's open the lines now and talk to you. 8:30, we'll talk to Reverend Tony Kra via WhatsApp from the United States of America. This is the OK Morning Run, 0777 700-995, 0555 026-995, 0886-995-995. Hello?
Good morning, President Clarence Jackson.
Good morning, Chief. Tom, that veteran thing there, don't be adding it there. Just say, Clark, remember veteran a year? When you see veteran, you'll run away.
Clarence, you are
Go ahead, sir.
Clarence, you know, I want to appreciate you this morning for your talking point. My name is Daniel Fedi, and I call you from the grounds of the FCA, where milk and honey is the order of the day. Clarence, you see, there are a lot of people who want to see this government down, right? Now, you talk about the guy that died in the prison, right? So, there people die because they are afraid. Sometimes you get in the situation, afraid, somebody kill somebody. So, maybe that guy was afraid. But now, on social media, when you look
No, but you can't. That's why I wanted the whole. You can't. When you did a man with a friend like Hannah, that wait until investigation.
No, the fear of going to lifestyle jail because the punishment for killing or for killing that lifestyle imprisonment. So the problem he was actually afraid to go to jail for lifestyle jail. But now on social media you see people on the other side saying it's the government. Every killing that's happening now they say it's the government. You know, the other person died. A manager died, they say that the government. So now,
but I think this is a mindset issue. Even the past government people used to say the same thing here. So I think this is just a mindset issue.
Political death.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Morning, Clarence.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for the good job. My name is Ebenezer Williams, and I call from Clarence.
Okay, Mr. Williams, let's hear you.
Yeah, you know, why is it true we condemn the act of violence by people burning down public places and police stations and what have you? I think one of the serious, because I listened to you saying that we should publicize to people, teach them or lesson that they should not use violence in such a manner.
Mm-hmm.
And that one of the reasons why people is doing this is because of the lesson that they have been taught in past years. Past years, people, I remember around St. Paul Beach, there was somebody that died in the cell, and opposition at the time started carrying it around that the police brutalized that man and treated it as though the man killed himself. So now it leaves people with the perception that anytime such a thing happens, it means that the police are brutalized the person and they take the person's death. And then when things like that happen, we need to sit as citizens, patriotic citizens, wait for the outcome of the investigation before going to the matter, but to take onto ourselves and start destroying things is not a fruitful one.
Okay, thank you. You said yours. Let's take another Liberian right here. Hello, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year to you and the OPSM family.
Thank you, sir.
But, Clarence, on a very serious note, I've never used the word constraint, but I will use it today, and it's going to be a borrowed word I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm constrained to call. I thought I would start for the whole of January without any appearance or any phone call. My constraint will come from the quarter before the last quarter that said every death people will say is the government. Oh yes, I am one of those persons who also believe that the government is responsible for the killing or the spawning of dead bodies all around the country, whether in Monrovia and any part of the country. It is the government. No other person doing it. It's the government that is doing it. And I mean, logically, I'm speaking as a very clown this morning. Logically, I would not have said that. But I'm saying that to be very illogical because there were people who we thought, and not even thought that we know to be very educated, intelligent people who were very consistent and persistent everywhere in this country. Somebody died, it was the government. If you build that kind of cycle, you build the minds of the people that everything negative in this country is the government. So when you get in power, do you expect people to be logical? No.
That's a cycle. That's a cycle we are in.
Yeah, so sorry for the word I'm using. We will all be stupid, very irrational to say the government is responsible for the killing. Until we can change and be rational people and know between good and bad, not because you want to serve as managing director, not because you want to be deputy director general, Liberia will not go anywhere. That's the reason on your sister program I said I am not one of those Liberians that is praying for any good thing to come to Liberia, because people before me did not pray for good things to Liberia, because once the government is in power and you pray for that government to go down, we all pray for the next government that we will have no connection to fall. So I don't pray for any good thing. So Liberia should just be a very bad country, bad things should happen all of the time until all of us can get them. But for now, we are all irrational people.
Thank you, Musa. Thank you, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Lawson Pan.
Yeah, Mr. Pan. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I still find it difficult to figure out the action of those citizens in Lofa. I don't know what do they want. For example, now one of you died mysteriously in Womo. Police launched an investigation, apprehending 5 persons. One of them was some suspect being put action. They just come out and it makes that mysteriously, as the people call us, the first call us, Clarence, who can do this thing. Some people prefer them to go to jail for less time. Yes, so they need to get the police chance to do an investigation. So they fear the last time in prison, that you really just die. You just came and said, so going to jail. Now, you want justice. Then you burn down all those places that need to be, that justice will be served. So now tomorrow when there is a case, or the police justice will be ready to launch an investigation now. Come for justice. When would they say? You burn down police station, you burn down the court. Somebody will tell you, no, be a school building first. So I'm just saying, the police need to launch additional investigation, that particular action, somebody must be behind.
And I'm just getting additional information from Lofa. Somebody is telling me the reason why, but I mean that should not have given them rise to burn any how do you call it stuff, any public facility. But I'm told, even though our correspondent didn't say the one, but I'm told the reason why the community people got angry about his death is the fact that even though he was the prime suspect, but he was a prime suspect in context. Somebody just telling me now that this is the guy who told the police that he saw the people who did the killing, but the people fled the scene. So he was like a whistleblower. And that his body will be discovered later was something that the community was concerned about. It was like, but this is the only guy who we were depending on to tell the government exactly who did the killing. Because this guy has said he know all of those who did the killing. He saw them, but they fled the scene. And probably this guy was giving information to the police. So when they discovered his dead body, probably the citizens got agitated to say, oh, maybe somebody killed the man in the cell because the man was giving out information. But that should not have led to the burning of a public facility also. Somebody was just telling me that. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning to your audience. Clarence, I'm Delani. I'm Ishmael J. Delani.
Delani, let's hear you.
So the issue of mob justice, I think, is wrong for us, and it's something that every day we condemn. But again, some days back, I was asking myself this question: that, like, look at the incident that occurred at the 72nd day, at 72nd junction. It was broad day. That area is always busy. To not see police officer at that particular intersection, to even put those angry crowd under control, to the extent where 2 persons were killed by mob justice. And then, I don't know, are we reaching to a point where the police really need to be prioritized? Maybe in our budget, they should be first priority, or the police need to do more recruits?
Because if in Monrovia, this kind of thing, or if in Montserrat, this kind of thing is happening, then what more about the Leroy era? Where you only have few police officers. So many will continue to discover these things every time of these days. So I think that there should be a need of this, and there should not only be more politicized. You understand that other people may play little politics about it, but let us face the reality because it's a whole age problem. How can we resolve these things? That every day we'll be condemning, and people doing the same thing all because one person feel that they are not getting redress.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on the other line. Hello, my friends, the line, the base lines. Hello. Good morning.
Okay, thank you. I'm Watkins Jr. and I'm from my comfort zone in district 13.
Yeah, Watkins.
Okay, Piso, firstly, thank you for your talking point. Piso, you see, Liberia, the issue of mob violence is a serious issue in this country. Yesterday, Piso, I was so disappointed when I saw those guys from Lofa County burning down things in the county. It's another bloody on government. Because government now have to solidify to see how best they can rebuild that place. So someone can die in prison and then automatically people try to shave it on government and say, oh yeah, government knows something about it. No, so I saw the picture. The picture is the guy hit himself with one shot.
No, you can't say that. You can't be conclusive. Let's wait and see. The investigation matters a lot in these kinds of things. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is Z Mobile Zakama, and I called from Sinko this morning.
Zakama, how you doing, my brother?
I'm fine by His grace.
Okay.
Clarence, for me, what I have to say is this: I think the police need to do more. As you already said, I listened to an interview from a guy from Lofa. This guy that was killed because before it brought serious attention was the whistleblower.
Yeah, that's what somebody just telling me.
He was the one that was to testify in the particular murdering of this lady. Then in police custody. Can you imagine that? How someone can go to jail like that?
And Zakama, this is the reason why I thought it was unnecessary for the people to burn down public facilities and do all these things. Because when somebody died in the police holding cell, we must ask some questions.
Yes.
We must demand investigation and all these things.
And I don't know why Liberians are always in a habit of destroying their own property. They don't know that public facility are their own property. It's not owned by the police. It's not owned by anybody. It's owned by your very self.
Okay,
so
sir.
If they bring up a good act, but the police needs to be investigated.
Thank you. Thank you, Zakama. We're taking one more call from our main baseline here. And then our next time we call will be our guest from America. Please. Hello?
Clarence.
Yeah?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let me say good morning to the Excellency President Baka. You know, I'm just troubled. I think we Liberians will lack the sense of belonging and the national interest. Why do we allow ourselves to be driven with political sentiment or maybe want to defend our family member or how revenue in a country that's supposed to take precedent or procedure over almost everything in the country? Why are people burning down public facility or public activity? I mean, like you said, it's just about the police being very much proactive rather than reactive.
Okay, thank you. Let me tell Bob Ivan Gizi, even though I said final call, but probably he got more information because he's a citizen of Lofa and probably got people on the ground. Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, quite frankly, firstly, Clarence, let me condemn the actions of taking law into your hands. I think our people need to read their thought processes, and this is not fair because you are putting the country back into looking for another infrastructure that will hold or this kind of matters. So, but if you on the other side, I think the state had to be swift with the investigation. Had I happened, because Clarence, to be frank, the ball was in the possession of the state. So when he died in that kind of a manner, I think it requires prompt investigation so that our people can know exactly what went wrong or what happened to that child. I think it's unacceptable, and we hope that the people of Lofa, we are not violent people. I know from all indication that the investigation will continue, and then they will come up with a very fast, quick investigation.
Okay.
And we are waiting. We are already sent a team of leaders in the county. They are ensuring that the matter is brought to a book.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
No more call. No more call. I'm trying to get to Reverend Tolly Crowd now. I'm sorry.
The blood that is now making determination as to where the country go monetarily and with a growth that is now being recognized internationally. There where I am.
Hela Bahu as a speaker.
Hela Bahu is in Ghana.
Who is he?
Are you telling me?
You know him.
Well, you do too.
He is your colleague.
All then are my colleagues.
The two persons are in Ghana.
Fonati
Kofa is in Ghana. Rachel Kun is in Ghana. Whom are you referring to?
Well, today I'm not seeing communication from the speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament. Okay, to attend the government, to attend the event.
What does that mean?
We gotta move forward. This country has to move forward.
We're moving forward. The reason why I call you because I didn't want to speculate on that communication. So I call Honorable Thomas Romeo Quia, and he is speaking. But he just needed to be as clear as possible so we can move forward. Whom are you?
So because parents have not seen the communication that the parents Speaker Copa have not seen it. I had no idea at some point in time that he was to go to Ghana. He was invited. I didn't see that communication, so I can't speak to its authenticity. But I did saw a communication from the speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament inviting Richard Cohen and others. I did see that, so I'm speaking to what I saw. I guess what I didn't see.
But in that communication, the Ghanaian Parliament Speaker is referring to Richard Cohen as the Right Honorable Speaker. Do you agree with the Ghanaian Parliament Speaker that Richard Cohen is your speaker?
I was not part of the decision that generated that invitation.
So who is the speaker?
So get me right. I just said that then I didn't have the occasion of seeing and Speaker Kofa and invitation. I did see the one that came from the Ghanaian speaker inviting Moko as speaker of the Liberian government to attend the inauguration of the new president.
Who do you firstly recognize as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
I recognize whosoever the president of this country recognized as the speaker.
Who is the president?
Whosoever, you may be aware of the person.
I'm not there. I'm not in the house.
Whosoever the government recognized as the speaker, I'm there to do my work, and I still remain firm with the issue of the rule of law. This part, I'm there to work along with whosoever I'm working with. But remember, president will live on.
Do you still recognize Fonati Kofa as Speaker of the House of Representatives?
If Fonati Kofa was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, then he should have been in conformity with the President of the Republic of Liberia. But he's not there.
So if in your words, he is not in conformity, who do you recognize as the Speaker?
The one who the President recognized.
Who is he?
Clarence.
You know all your colleagues by name, Small. I mean, why are you...
Clarence.
Why are you not bold?
I have called his name over and over again.
The people of District 3, I think they know you to be a bold guy.
Yeah, but they listen to me calling the name. Why do you want me to drag the name over and over again?
Can you please call it? Let me hear it too.
Who is the speaker, the present speaker with the 43 member of the House?
You tell us.
Richard Cohen. Okay. Richard Cohen is the speaker now. Whether we like it or leave it, Richard Cohen is the speaker.
Okay. We're trying to get in touch with Reverend Tolly Craft from the United States of America. I am sure Reverend Tolly Craft is on this line. Reverend Craft, good morning.
Good morning, Papa.
All
right, I love that.
Reverend Craft, how are you? How you doing?
Look, I just thank God for the new year. I thank God for all of his blessings. I thank God for his protection. I thank God that I don't walk alone. He's walking with me even through the valley of the shadow of death. He's walking with me. I'm really grateful to God. I also thank God my dad is alive. My dad is over 100 years old.
Wow.
He's the man.
Is the woman still in Tapeta?
He's still in Tapeta. He's sitting right in Tapeta now as we speak.
Wow. He
left the United States and moved back to his place. He has a project that he's working on. Is an education project. They had a four classroom school that he helped to found many years ago. That's where I started my education. And he wants to expand it to 15 classroom, auditorium, library, etc. And that's his last project. He said after that he's going to retire. So I'm trying to see how I can help him. When I go down to the Martin Luther King thing, I'm going to start a fundraiser to try to help him with some money for the project to be finished by Easter Sunday, God willing, this year.
Okay, Reverend. Reverend Kula, you seem to be very consistent and not seem to want to give up anytime soon with this, your advocacy and your quest for a visa-free policy for Liberians wanting to enter the United States. In few words, why are you as consistent as you are on this subject?
Because I love Liberia so much and I love the United States a lot. The United States is a great country that does a lot of good around the world. But the United States is deeply divided along racial line, divided by a law passed by Congress. March 4th, 1790, Congress passed a new law that said only white persons will be eligible for citizenship in the United States. That law is what created the Republic of Liberia. They had to remove citizens of the United States from America to bring them to Africa so that they will have a situation, whitewashed America, apartheid America, that only has white people living there and black people living as slaves. Today we have Liberia, a trap that was set by the United States, still a trap. And we have two-tier citizenship. We have one group of Liberians. They have access to America. They can go to school in America like me. Their children are in school in America. But the other group of Liberians do not come here at all. And those who come to America come back and say, well, I'm from Harvard. I need this job. They become presidents. They become ministers. They become all kinds of people in the country. And we still have all the population with nothing. They're living and dying in poverty. It's wrong. We have to stop it.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'm told you are supposed to be delivering the annual Martin Luther King Jr. speech at Stamford Springs in Connecticut. Tell us about that event and what will your speech focus on, for example?
I'm humbled to have been selected to give the Martin Luther King Jr. speech in Connecticut. So we're going to be going to Connecticut. But the speech is entitled Unfinished Business. You know, when you have a meeting, you don't start new business until you finish the old business. We have an unfinished business here in the United States of America. We have an unfinished business in the Republic of Liberia. And unless and until we can have that unfinished business to be dealt with, we are wasting our time. Elections will not do anything in America or in Liberia until we get down. For Liberia and America, we need rebirth of a new nation with a new attitude. And that's what we want. Not segregation, not racism, not classism, not first and second class citizens like we have in Liberia.
And by reasoning, are you going to take some time in that speech to focus on racism and, you know, the work of Martin Luther King and why you think he should still be celebrated?
It's more than celebrated. What I'm calling on the people to do is to rise up and continue the work where he left off. So, United States did not just become a place of racism. There were laws passed, and there was a reason why they passed those laws. In Massachusetts, this country started with the proposition all men are created equal. But those who were in charge were a slave master who owned a lot of human beings and enslaved a lot of people. These people never free anybody. James Monroe, all the days of his life, he never free anybody. Today, we honor him in naming a capital of an African nation. John Marshall, we honor him, Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court. Most Liberians don't even know. This is a man who enslaved people all the days of his life. Bushra Washington. And so our country was envisioned, designed, and created by slave masters, white slave masters, who wanted to keep people in bondage forever. It has to change. And we, the generation that are living today, we don't have slave masters, but we continue their policies. And that policy has to be changed. And that is why I'm going to go through my speech. It's going to talk about H.R. 40, the bill that brought about racism. It's going to talk about the Massachusetts Constitution. It's going to talk about how the United States government tricked the citizens to believe that philanthropists and non-profit organization was established in Liberia, when in fact it was the government of the United States that created Liberia almost 15 years before the ACS was even incorporated and registered. I didn't know this. Representative Benjamin Swan told me. And then I read it in the book myself, and I was discouraged. But then as an American citizen, I don't want to keep the place and the country in darkness. So I have brought the light of truth. Liberia was created by the government of the United States of America using two laws. And Liberia today is one of the poorest places on earth, while the United States is spending billions of dollars on Ukraine and Gaza and other places. It's wrong. We have to stop it. If we don't stop it, it's not going to stop.
What did the organizers say in their letter to you that they use as a benchmark to select you to deliver such a historic speech, Reverend Kruger?
So I live in Boston, and I've been working in Boston and around the country. And some of the people have seen the work that I have done, not just for Liberians, people from 40 different countries to this looking for a chance. There's a young man who couldn't speak English. And my organization is not just in learning the language, but in legal staff. Today he's one of the top in the United States, writer from Harvard University with a PhD, first with a master's degree in biostatistics, a PhD in biostatistics. He's one of the leading scientists in this country. And people didn't look at him, when they first saw him, they didn't look at him for what God Almighty has placed in him. They just look at the color of his skin, because he was from Africa. And so that type of work, the type of impact of people around the world made these people to think about me coming to deliver their message on Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
And when is that?
It's going to be on Saturday. So Martin Luther King Day is actually the 20th of January, and it's going to be on, but the program is going to be on Saturday, this coming Saturday.
How is it normally done? Do they invite, state and federal officials? Do they invite people from civil society and advocates? And give us a picture of what that program is usually like.
Usually people, politicians love to go to where you have a lot of people. And so when there is an event like this, they always try to bring out the politicians in the city. They bring out business leaders. Everybody tries to be like Martin Luther King Jr. because he was a great person. And so it's going to be a mixture of civic leaders, business leaders, and church leaders, etc., religious leaders that will be coming together. And what we want to do is, once people come together to look at this country now, this country is divided. This country is spending billions of dollars overseas, but they have put $0 in uniting the country. There's a place called Pine Ridge Indian Reservation struggling, suffering, can't even buy groceries, can't pay for gas. People are struggling in this country, and we need to recognize that and reach out to them.
Please focus on some of those kinds of things.
Well, but I'm also going to call on the United States news report. Nigeria is the largest overstay visa in the United States, and 29% for Nigeria, the highest visa overstay country in the world for the United States. And so it looks like the United States government is bent on continuing what the slave master started, to remove American citizens, bring them to Africa, and lie to the world that these are free slaves that we free. They never free any slaves. James Monroe never freed his slaves. Washington never freed slaves. And so this thing has continued for years and years and years. And the United States has to stop colonization of Liberia, and it begins with visa waiver. But that's our goal is not just visa waiver. Visa waiver is just to help Liberians to have equal opportunities like other Liberians. We have some Liberians that their parents have access to the United States. Like I said, me, I only got 2 children. Some people got 5. My kids have opportunities. What's about those with 5 kids? And we sit there and we do nothing about it. We want the United States to take a step in decolonizing Liberia, beginning with visa waiver and reparations. They have to build this country, Liberia. They have to pay reparations to us. And if the United States government is not willing to do it voluntarily, we will take the matter to court again very soon.
Okay, Reverend, what do you know about, in my word, a speech that I would consider as a high-profile speech? High-profile because of the name attached to the occasion itself. What do you know about those who usually deliver the speech during that Martin Luther King Day? Do they put these speeches in a museum? Do they keep it somewhere? Do they take it to act on it? Does it go wild? What do you know about the speech people usually deliver as the guest speaker on that occasion?
Well, a lot of times people give these speeches to try to inspire people to do something. And sometimes people who have accomplished come and talk about things that they accomplished. And sometimes it's even written, it's even published for people to be able to read far and near. My speech is going to be a lesson for this country. We have a situation today where we are looking abroad for investors. When God has given us investors, we are looking abroad for scientists. When God has given us scientists. And these people live and die all the time. I don't understand that. We have to find a way to give opportunities to. It's not just Liberians. The same thing is happening in Sierra Leone. Same thing is happening in Niger. I think we as Africans need to get together to ensure that the ravages of colonization does not continue indefinitely. That's what we have to do.
Do you think that occasion is going to be a perfect opportunity for Reverend Tolly Kura to explore additional opportunities to ensure his decades of advocacy for a visa waiver for Liberians to the U.S. is adhered to?
Absolutely, yes. And I'm hoping that the radio stations in Liberia will be able to cover the event. We will try to have it on Facebook Live, because I just spoke with a young attorney from Liberia, and she has never heard about the Free Liberia movement or about visa waiver at all. And she lives in Monrovia. And I want to thank the Liberty Radio. They've given us 1 hour every week for us to have community engagement and advocacy through the visa waiver. I also want to call on people to join the movement, because right now we have membership that is available for all Liberians to join. $2 per month membership. And those who pay the $2 per month membership for a year, they get a chance to get the book for them to look in and see what we're talking about, that Liberians are entitled to see all of the laws in the United States and all the laws in Liberia that make us to be entitled to this privilege that has been denied us for 2 centuries. And in addition to that, we have a t-shirt that we give to the members that wear these t-shirts to go around. We even have opportunity for people to make money. Anyone who recruits another person after you get all of the materials, you get orientation and training. Anyone who recruits another person gets $4 every time you recruit somebody who pays their 1 year due. And so we are bringing opportunity. If you recruit 10 people, that's $40. Stealing money from the visa interview, which is not an interview at all, just to collect the money, 78.19% is wrong. It's completely wrong. And we have not heard from the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs. We have not heard from the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. We have written letters to them that this act of collecting money in a visa process where you decide in the morning, we're only going to give 3 visas today, and then you have 200 people coming and put them through asking them questions as if you are conducting an interview when you are in fact not conducting an interview at all. There's no interview at the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia. It's a fake interview. And they collect millions of dollars year after year. It has to stop. And we have to stop it.
Reverend Tolly Kula, I'd like to say thank you so much. It was an opportunity talking to you. But before we go, is there anything particularly you would like to say before we let you go?
Well, I have a big news for the people of Liberia. And God willing, we're going to find time as soon as it happens. It's about to happen, but it hasn't really happened yet. And I think probably about next week it's going to happen. And so when it happens, I'm going to send it out to you for us to have a chance to come back and to bring this big news. It's transformative. The country is going to change completely based on what we are not looking for political change at this point. We are looking for economic freedom for all citizens of Liberia to be able to live their God-given potential. People who are supposed to be engineers, doctors, scientists are born in Liberia and they die because we have not focused on them. We focus on foreigners coming to take positions. We focus on foreigners coming in to bring investment, to create jobs. We can do all of those things and you can do it better. Today, the richest man in the world is Elon Musk, born in Africa, but he was living in the United States that gave him the opportunity for him to reach his God-given potential. We have so many Elon Musk in West Point, living and suffering and dying in poverty. We have to reverse that. And God willing, in the next couple of days, we're going to hear big news that is going to excite people, not just in Liberia, but around the world. And I want to thank you for giving us the time.
Okay, finally, now, a friend of mine is asking me, instead of paying the $2 over a period of 1 year, and then you give me the bulk, he's asking, so I can uprightly pay the $25 US and get a book.
Oh, yes. You pay the $25 US, you get a book, you get a t-shirt, you get a certificate, you get an ID card. We are a duly registered organization in Liberia. And let me just say one thing. After our registration last year in Monrovia, Liberia, we had a 2-hour talk at the U.S. Embassy after Dr. Raptel gave that speech. We called the embassy. We had a sit-down meeting where we were able to make a presentation for 2 hours. And after the 2 hours presentation, we were told that this information, even some of the people in the embassy didn't even know. Some of the top people in the embassy did not know. And so people are sitting now accusing American people, oh, the people against us, they don't like us. No. The government has put everybody in the darkness, and we have to bring the light. And we were able to have that conversation at the U.S. Embassy and presented a package to them that they said they were going to pass on to Washington. And so, I mean, we're going to give people information that has been hidden for 200 years. And with that light, we'll be able to shine in our country, to shine on the continent, and to bring change, substantive change in the lives of people.
Reverend Tolikula, thank you so much. Liberians cannot wait in a week's time or thereafter to hear the good news you're talking about. The country is standing. We can't wait to hear the good news. But thank you so much.
Thank you. And we're going to come right to OK FM to deliver that news.
I look forward to another interaction this time with the delivery of the big news. Reverend Tolikula from Tapeta here in Lofa County. He's a Liberian American residing in Boston, very passionate about creating and exploring opportunities for Liberians. Let's take a break. We expect Lofa County Representative Musa Ability, the head of the minority bloc in the House of Representatives, to be here any moment from now.
On my official treatment, I don't know what I'll be here for that discussion, but I'll make my position clear, whether or not. Andrew Peter, you're not saying as you say it, man. This is my body. You see that video? You see the video? You see the video? But I saw the man. Do you know my age? I saw the man who holding you on your waist and pulling you back. No, you know what happened when I was talking at the bike closer to the VP? I was almost like they murdered me. I don't murder you. They murdered me. I'm telling you. I don't murder you. But I have to go to hospital. When they murder people, they don't. So I have to go to hospital. They really brutalize you. For sure. Wow. Because the video I saw, you grab you by your waist. But they hit me, not grab. The person that held that shell was one of the parties, but that intention was to really damage me, which I have resolved. Today, my lawyer is ready in the American Embassy to do we are ready a human rights party. Talking about health, human rights violation. That was a gross human rights violation and a misuse of power. That was a misuse of power. Not going there, bro. I will make sure. Firstly, I'm on my official treatment as Speaker of the House of Representatives. I recognize whosoever the president of this country recognized as the Speaker. Who is the president? Whosoever, you may be aware of the president. I'm not there. I'm not in the House. Whosoever the government recognized as the Speaker, I'm there to do my work, and I still remain firm with the issue of the rule of law. Despite I'm there to work along with whosoever I'm working with. But remember, President will live on. Do you still recognize Fonati Kofa as Speaker of the House of Representatives? If Fonati Kofa was the Speaker of the House of Representatives, then he should have been in conformity with the President of the Republic of Liberia. But he's not there. So if in your words, he is not in conformity, who do you recognize as the Speaker? The one who the President recognized. Who is he? Clarence. You know all your colleagues by name small. I mean, why are you Clarence? Why are you not bold? The people of District 3, I think they know you to be a bold guy. Yeah, but they listen to me calling the name.
Why do you want me to drag the name over and over again?
Can you please call? Let me hear it.
Who is the speaker, the present speaker with the 43 member of the House?
You tell us.
Rachel Coon. Okay. Rachel Coon is the speaker now. Whether we like it or leave it, Rachel Coon is the speaker. That's the one the president accept.
I'm a be back. Yeah, on you. Oh, Zogo. And maybe you. And maybe you. Zogo. One year back, I will say to you. Like I told you about. See you later. You come on over. I'm going to tell them. You need me. In my arm, better for war.
As
brothers and sisters, without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep.
Representative Musa Ability will be here soon, then we can have a conversation.
That we have. Sweet Liberia, land of liberty is our home. Let us keep it standing. It's the one and only home that we have. Sweet Liberia, love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's celebrate and have a peaceful home. Ladies and gentlemen, Sakin Jiba will now dedicate this song to the Liberian people. After a period of 133 years of one-party system, it is time that the Liberian people will vote and choose their own leader. So let us all celebrate a peaceful election for unity and prosperity. Yeah! Ooh la la! This world is not for war. God made all of us to be together in this war. Got to fight to run, red, blue, yellow, So, we don't want trouble. We don't want to spoil us. We don't want trouble. We don't want to spoil us. Yeah. Let's come together, we'll work together. Trouble is making we solve our problem.
GN Radio in the UK is relaying our shows. So we are live in the United Kingdom through GN Radio. A lot of followers, I'm told. The afternoon conversation as well is really on GN Radio in the UK. The man bearing the Musa Hassan Bulletin name is in studio. Let me give him a tease and then we'll come back. Okay, so at this point we will bring down the music and go to Representative Billy to begin our conversation. We are hearing he has been elected, or the confidence reposed in him by his colleagues to make him a minority leader of at least 28 members of the House of Representatives. A new portfolio, a new cross he's carrying. He's represented district number 7. But we'll put a little bit of spotlight on his district. I see him post a lot of photos and he said district 7 will feed itself. I don't know whether he's gotten to the level he talked about last year. Where are we now with the reproduction thing and all these kinds of things? Representative Billy, Happy New Year. It's good to see you in a brand new year. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. And thanks to OK, and good morning to Liberia, and Happy New Year.
You write too much.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a writer. I served as a columnist for the New Democrat newspaper.
Really?
Mm-hmm. At that time, you guys were still very young.
I know.
And I worked with Lindsay Barrett, Tom Kamara, Ben Asante, John Stewart. Those were
the prolific John Stewart. Yes. He writes a lot.
Yes. So, and being a student of Amos Sawyer, writing is part of our life.
I see.
So yeah, I love writing. I properly express myself
when you write.
When I write, and I do it in the middle of the night, around during the early morning of the hour. Of the morning, maybe 2-3 o'clock. So I've started a column. I'm sure you're following it.
I do.
Yeah, and I will continue for as long as I can. And also in our political dispensation, writing short stuff. Sometimes it doesn't express your view.
Yeah, sometimes it leaves too much room for speculation.
Yes, I know our people don't like to read, but sometimes I like to write for clarity so that tomorrow, when I'm sitting in your studio and you put up what I wrote, it can be properly laid out.
Yeah.
So,
how is your district, by the way? Where are we? You spoke I don't want to say you talk BB talk, but you spoke too much about your revolution for the district to feed itself. I'm particularly concerned about the I know we talked about water, blah, blah, but the agriculture component, where are we?
The first element of the agriculture component in our district was the roads. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to say that my district, for the first time in the history of that district, we had a rainy season and the district was not cut off. And people move everywhere they wanted to move because we made roads, we made alternative routes, and we're very proud of that. Very, very proud of that, And our agriculture program was a good start, We're looking at around 25, 30,000, 50 kg bear, which is about 50,000.
Wow.
Yeah, for this.
25, 30,000 bags of 25 kg.
Yes. No, 50 kg.
50 kg. Oh, the big one?
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's how you're doing it.
We've imported now about 6 machines. You saw the one that I posted. Mm-hmm. We got 3 of that. Those will serve so people don't have to go on the farm anymore. And once you cut the rice. Then the people got to be there. No, we got machine doing that now in our district. And tomorrow we are receiving 3 rice milling machine that will come in our district. It's a good start. I'm happy that we started that. We're starting huge cassava farm. This year we have allocated 20,000 acres of land for cassava, and hopefully this next week as we bury the senator, you guys will come over. The body is sleeping in Saclipia. I will take you on a tour of our industrial park that we are building right now. Industrial park? Yeah. In Saclipia town? In Saclipia. Well, right at the edge of our district, just as you enter our district, about a 50-acre land, which is being cleared right now. You should go and see it. And by the end of this year, that park will be up and running, and we will have a rice milling or entire section, rice milling factory, and that rice will produce parboiled rice, because the machine can parboil the rice. We'll have a cassava milling factory that will allow us to export cassava. Right now we have a buyer in China. So really? Yeah. So what we do the cassava is, believe me, cassava can take us from poverty in this country. Cassava can take us from poverty? Yes. As I speak to you, there's a shortage of cassava even in Nigeria. You know the thing about cassava? It grows anywhere. It's not the rice that needs a particular or soil system. Cassava grows. So we are going to massively engage. So what are we doing with the 50,000 bags or 50 kg? You want to market or you putting it on? No. Like I told you, we just brought the machine, so the milling process is on. We're going to sell it in the district, and then. But not only for district people, anybody can go buy it. For now, we are focusing on our people. But how you know me? How you know me? How you know I'm from your district? I can't buy my 10 bags. We are our own police people. We don't think that we can control you 100%, but we give the opportunity for our people. I mean, I can see the passion. Yeah. I see. And then we design it, the area that the farm is, even though, all the people who work on the farm, they are being paid. But the area the farm is, the people in that community will get 10% of the rice that we produce in that community. So we give it to them. And then the remaining 90%, 45% of the revenue will go into community-wide school, other development, and then the other 45% will be replanted. What is the benefit to me? I'm investing the initial money, but I will develop the district now without having to spend extra money. Without spending from your pocket now? Yes. The business will be used to develop the business. Exactly. That's your idea? Yeah. So, and it's going well, because this year, the money we put in the agriculture fund is not coming from my pocket. It's coming from the rice. Really? Yes. So you're extending the fund? Oh, yeah. We're blessed in District 7. District 7 has the largest number of swamp in the entire Liberia. Swamp land. We have more swamp land than any district in the entire Republic of Liberia. We intend to cultivate each and every one of them. Wow. Yes. Are your people impressed? Very. The thing about it, it also provides job opportunity. We got people working. We got almost like 1,600 people that are working. They're making. You come, you work today, and we change it now. We put it in groups. So we say, you got a farm. This is how much we're gonna pay you to bring the farm up the pie. It's going very well. Wow. I've been seeing your red house. What is this thing so particular about that village called Nyasi? That's my mother's town. There where I was raised. It's everything to me. Growing up there, it means a lot. And I'm happy now that, my mother's land, I've just cleared it. We're going to build a beautiful retreat, where my political retreat, that would be my
Your political base.
Yeah.
Anytime you come around and hit too much, you go back.
I'll just go there and lay down there. I'll not be in Cyclopia. I'll just go to my village.
Do you still have some of your aunties, your mother, people around, your aunties, your uncles?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. Clarence, man, you need to come and visit me. I'm sure you have a different view. You know, I want you to come. You know, you are here calling me, oh, Musa. Those people don't call me.
How do they call you?
Lai.
Okay.
That's my name.
Imawege. Imawege, sir.
Mawege. Oh, Mami Lenka.
Bayido get a Imawege.
Bayido.
Okay, so they call you Lai.
Yeah.
They don't call you Musa.
No.
Especially the elders, man. They would just say Lai.
Yeah. You know, it's been long, so most of my equal are literally the elders of the town. So we play together.
What's your memory of that time?
My greatest memory is, you know, sitting behind my mother while she's working on the farm, refusing to go to Cyclopia to go to school. And she literally look in my eye and cry and say, "You can't do this to me."
She wanted you to go to school.
You cannot do this to me. You have to go to school. And I promised her that, you know, from today, I promise I'll go to school. But yet, I never miss a weekend. You know, Friday evening, I will be at the car park helping the driver to lower his car so that he can give me a lift to Nyasa. And, you know, coming back, sometimes no car, my mother would pack me up, pack some food and stuff, and put on my bag and wait on the road. And when they see people walking, because many people used to walk.
Yeah, they put you behind it.
They say, "Why are you going?" So we're going to the picture. And, you know, the funny thing, because you don't know the people, when you start the journey first, you create a distance between you and them.
Yeah, you're not sure anything.
But as you move,
you start lecturing,
you start lecturing.
Yeah, you start feeling good.
You get used to that, you know. Yeah, I mean, you won't do that today. That every time, you know. That's why I'm so happy I went inside the land, in the forest, made the open play. It's gonna be beautiful.
You still remember some of the places your mother used to make farm?
Every one of them. Not just some, every one of them. Last time I was there, I went to the house I'm building now. I'm building on the farm that my mother had.
On the farm?
Yeah.
Okay. Not too far from the town.
Yes, you know. At that time, as young people, it looked far. What, you know, as you see it now, it's not too far.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, we look forward to the revolution there in District 7 that will gradually translate, probably, who knows, into Nimba, because your other colleagues will start saying, "Musa, you got to come on the side." Maybe the people in other districts will start hauling you. Come make fire too. Come make fire. By the time you log, it will generate something. That's
what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to really, really change the way, you know, Chief, we can change this country just by farming.
You think so? You're so passionate about this?
And I remember sitting with President Salif after our 20, I never forget that moment, after our 2011 election. And I said, "Madam President," she said, "Musa, you work so hard, so what do you want to do?" And I said, I love to be the Minister of Commerce. She said, "Hell no, I'm not going to make you Minister of Commerce. What I want you to think about is what kind of business you can do so that when I'm not president, I can look at you as one of the people that I created, independent millionaire in this country. You have to be one of them. So you need to go out there and think about what you want to do and come back to me. Don't think about being a cabinet. You become a Minister of Commerce. 1 or 2 years, I will fire you, and that will be the end. Why do you want to do that?" And from that moment, I said, well, LPRC, I want to be like LPRC. Today, I'm happy that I'm like LPRC. So I said today, I remember that event, and I said to myself, I want to lead the road to redemption, for economic redemption for our people. And I have seen it. I've been in business. I'm in oil business for over 35 years. I've done all sorts of business. I've done trading. I've gone around the world. I brought oil, milk. I've done everything that you can think of in terms of business. I've come to conclude that the only thing that can change this country fit is agriculture. Saying that, I must do it, and I'm happy that I have the resources to invest in it. I don't have to go to the bank to say, give me money, let me go put it in my farm. Whatever little I have, I will invest it, and believe me, you will see the
You think it will play off?
It will pay off. When you come see our cassava farm at the end of this year, you will be.
I mean, that you will not even start the cassava farm, but you have buyer already?
Yeah. You know, the buyer and I have already made a deal. So the processing plant is about 1.5 million. So we're going to pay 50% of that money, and the buyer will help us to pay the other.
Yeah, because after all, you will sell to him.
And then as I sell to him, he will take 50% of the revenue to pay his money, and everybody will be happy.
Okay, Musa.
And the land is here. I have 20 acres, 20,000 acres in just one district. Just imagine 20 times 9 in Nemba alone, and then 20 times 73. That's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Are you encouraging your colleagues to do same?
Yeah, sometimes encouraging people doesn't work unless you show them evidence. So I'm hoping that, especially, I'm sure we'll come to this rule of law caucus. We're not just looking at politics.
Okay.
I'm trying to replicate the development in my district into all the other members' district.
Okay.
So
Thank
that
you.
I can tell them how we do it, how we can do it, how we can change our people's life without depending on government all the time.
Okay. Now, you still have an issue. You, as the House of Representatives, in battle speaker, Kofa goes back to the court. The Supreme Court is yet to make a determination. Some lawyers are telling me it is not forced. The court can decide to rule on that, to say something about the bill of information or not. I'm not a law student like Musa Belete and others. I'm not a lawyer either. But recently, your colleagues have elected you as the head of the minority bloc, calling yourself the Rule of Law Caucus. How did that come to be?
Well, you know, when you together, that's what I tell people. When you're in a group, exhibit yourself, your character. When the right time comes, your colleague will put that trust in you, and it will be based on the record that you've set with them. And so I'm honored. I am honored to be their chair.
What's the objective?
Political. I mean, we want to cuddle together. We want to review everything that comes in the legislature. We want to look at the budget together. We want to look at bills, supervision, oversight together collectively. We want to be together on all national decisions as much as we can. And that's the purpose of a caucus. And we want to go beyond the speaker crisis. We want to assess each and every one of us district, so that maybe every year we'll take 5 members of the caucus and say, maybe the guy in County X has issue with the road, or in County Y got issue with the bridge. We'll put together, we'll raise money, and then we'll fix that up. So the Liberian people will see this caucus not just in the eyes of, just from the prison of saying rule of law, which is political, but we will be developmental. We'll be development as the head of this group. I know what development can do. I know that my election was because of development. So we will change that. So you will not, most of the time you will hear about this rule of law, you will see that we're operating outside of the city. So we'll be actively involved in the politics of the legislature, but it will go above and beyond that.
What's the actual number of your membership?
Those that are not currently with the quote-unquote majority are 29.
Yeah.
But one person have indicated their intention to suicide. Okay. We still don't have a full appreciation of what he means, and we're trying to get clarification from him. But, you know, it really doesn't matter how much we are. What we stand for is what we stand for.
Okay. When you say the Rule of Law Caucus, you say it's political anyway. So let's move on. But Here's it. You had a press conference yesterday, am I correct?
Correct.
Is it true that you've resolved now to join the majority of your colleagues, whether City Hall or whatever, to start to do, in your words, the Liberian people business? Does that mean, the embattled speaker Kofa will now sit with his gavel to preside over the section you always went to? Does that also mean that you are leaving him? Are you encouraging him to join your colleagues where he will sit and Richard Kun preside as the speaker? Give us a picture.
So I think the press statement, as short as it was very
I didn't even see it.
Oh, okay. It was self-explanatory. We said we're going to session and we're going to object to certain things. Okay. Number one, we're going to object to the fact that our colleague claimed to have elected a speaker when there is a speaker who has not been removed. Okay. We want to object to that. We want to object to the fact that they claim to have removed suspended some of our colleagues, without, in our mind, due process. So we want to object to that. We also want to object to the fact that they have withheld the benefit of the 29 members without any justification, and we are aware that this money has been paid to the account of the House of Representatives. We want to know why that money is being held. So and this action is the result of being failed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has refused blatantly and abdicated its responsibility to clarify its ruling. When you have two parties enter your chamber and sit before you and you read a ruling and the both parties come outside and claim that they've won, from the moral perspective, you have to clarify it. When you have the Minister of Justice clearly twisting your ruling, you have to clarify it. Our government system is collapsing. When did the legislature rely on the executive for interpretation of laws? The Senate did that. That is a bad sign. Look, what are the facts that you are aware of? From October, 3 months now, we're going to the 4th month. One agency of government has never been held accountable. Not a single agency of government. It's a free fall.
Making plow.
Yes. Today, our primary responsibility, which is oversight, we have totally abdicated.
No.
But this is what the executive want. There have been a free ride. It's like that thing that used to be in people's hair called less. Mm-hmm. It's like a less in a crazy man hair. The less thing gotta be worried that they may put medicine to mommy. The system is collapsing. So we looked at that. We said we're gonna go into session, raise our issue with our colleague, and attempt to resolve it.
Okay. Well, that could be a very good start of the resolution process. But here is it. Now you're going to go to section. You're not going to outrightly just be talking randomly in section. Probably you're going to channel these grievances through communication that will be put on the floor. You need to have a speaker presiding. How is it going to happen now? You go to section, try to put your views through. One of them is the manner in which Richard Kun was elected. I'm sure you're not satisfied. You don't. So who presides?
At this point, going to session, remember the way the House is looking. In the absence of the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker, anyone of the lawmakers can preside. You understand? I don't think that we should start that way. Okay. We're not going to enter the House and say, Richard Kun. There are processes. You have, agenda. You have first thing, which is roll call, and then you have the affirmation of agenda. During one of those points, we raise our issue so that we can discuss it.
I hope it will not be, should I say, unfortunately for you, because did I hear most of you say that as per your rule, that the speaker can put issues on the floor, agendas on the floor, to accept, to put certain things on the floor?
That's a good point. The Fonati Kova put his removal on the floor.
I mean, you tell us.
No, I mean, if somebody's going to tell me that now, you have to recognize that Fonati Kova was duly elected on January 15th. Did he put what they are claiming to have done on the floor? I guess the answer is no.
And then you always say the place is a
place. Lawmaker, when the agenda comes, that comes meaning from the presiding or the speaker. That is not a final agenda.
Yeah.
During discussion, you can always amend it.
Okay. Now, but Bilete, is this not an attempt to leave Fonati in the core? Because assuming you're 28, you go raise your issues, you debate it, you will vote. The people are still in majority. They might defeat you. Some of your concerns or all of your concern may not go through. You are walking away from Fonati. Fonati may not be able to preside over anything again because all of you going to the other side. Is there not being smart, politically smart? Because you don't want to look in Fonati's face to say, Chief, we got to go. We can't keep fighting. So you're creating something that will let you leave him alone.
No. That is not in our character. We have no such plan, and we're not going to do that. And this is not about Fonati Kova. I did not vote for Fonati Kova. This is about preserving the integrity of the House of Representatives and the legislature, because this thing could worm itself into the Senate, into the fabric of our governance system. It started how? Central Bank governor removed, LTA commissioner removed. That's how these things started. And I always say to leaders, the thing that happening to other people, if you don't look at it, the day happening to you, nobody will talk. So we are not going to abandon cover. However, we recognize that we don't have the majority. And if we finally find a solution that will result into the resolution of the problem, and if that is going to be at the expense of cover speakership for the sake of the country, we will opt for that. We do not shy away from that. What we shy away from and will not accept is a blatant disregard for the rule of law.
Do you know what Fonati will go with you at some point in Section 2? Or it's personal? It's about him?
No.
He decides that?
When we made a decision to make me chairman, Fonati was in the meeting. Okay. And when we found it appropriate and necessary for him to attend, we asked him to. He is a part of this. He remains, as far as we are concerned, the speaker. That has not changed. And we made that very clear in our statement. Clarence, if you're going to elect the speaker, there are several conditions. Let us assume, for the sake of this argument, that Fonati was legitimately removed. How do you elect a speaker? You have 73 members of the House that represent the entire population of our country. They need to be informed that we have a vacancy. The rules say that announcement must be made by the chief clerk to inform the body to say the House is without a speaker. Once that happens, plenary votes to say we got 60 days to elect the speaker. Let's decide what day we choose to elect the speaker. Then you choose that day. Then members are duly informed that there will be election. Okay? Once that happens, then the agenda of that day must include the election of a speaker. Ask my colleagues. The day they claim to have elected a Kun was anything on the agenda. We have the agenda. Nothing about speaker election was on the agenda.
At this stage,
was there on notice to everybody to say we are in the same chat room? Thomas Fala is there. Who was there? Who?
So in the midst of all the confusion, you're still in our chat room.
Yes. Were we informed that we're going to have a speaker election? No. The very plenary that they sat in and said they have elected a speaker did not know that the speaker was going to be elected because it was not on the agenda. So you vote to remove the speaker. Let's assume that vote was done in line with the law, everything. And we are assuming without a meeting. My brother, you do that act 9:30 and 9:40 elect a speaker? Amen.
So at this stage,
even if this was a military junta, they would take time to go sit down and say, how do we put the speaker in?
At this stage, Musa Belete, who do you recognize as the speaker?
I recognize Funatikova
as a speaker.
Yes, I do that. And like I said, we are open to the resolution of this crisis. And we have met the president and told the president, we want to resolve this. Why it's true that we don't recognize the election that took place, we recognize that we don't have majority to conduct the business of the people. We want to make peace, and if that peace means that Funatikova will resign, we accept that. What I want us to do, let us just follow the procedure.
So one of the procedures at this stage you want to follow is, assuming without a meeting you asked for Nati and he left, you want a new election for a speaker. Am I correct?
That's the procedure. But if the negotiation will say, no, there are too many acrimony, let us elect a speaker by acclamation, we are also open to that. The rule of law will be saved. Buffett Timber was elected not by election but by acclamation. That can happen. So we're not burying our heads in the sand. What we're saying, respect the rule of law. Let's do this.
Will your colleagues not think that you're trying to outsmart them? To say, oh, we want to settle it, if by acclamation
we're 28.
By web ballot, we can do something, gentlemen. You let's do it, but you let go there, you're listening to all. Would they not think you're trying to outsmart them politically?
But we're 28.
They're 43.
So the speaker is elected by simple majority. So how can we outsmart them? That's for you to answer.
Where does the reconciliation start? What did the president say in that kind of meeting? You want to talk public or you keep it private?
No. We gave him a proposal. The president said, I think this is the best proposal I've received, and now the ball is in my court. But
what was the proposal?
Since the president took the ball in your court, he has not.
What was the proposal?
We just what I said. We told the president, Mr. President, you are the head of state. When in terms of crisis under Article 50, you commander-in-chief, you are everything. We're in crisis. We came to you. We asked the president for meeting. We came to you to help us to resolve this issue. We come with everything on the table, including the speakership. All we want at this time is that let us respect the process that leads to the election of the speaker. Even if that means we should elect the speaker by acclamation, we are prepared for it, and we're prepared to do a resolution to resolve this. But what we are not ready for is to say what was not done legally must be. We even proposed in that meeting, and Senator Dillon was in that meeting, that if this is the case and the decision is that Kofa resigns, and because you guys are in the majority, so we agree that you produce the speaker, we put that in the resolution, we dissolve legally. We use the rules to dissolve the committees, and then the new speaker will have the chance to reappoint everyone so that he can have a unified legislature, House of Representatives. So this is our proposal.
And it is the president that's supposed to lead that charge. You are pleading to him to lead the charge.
We asked him to intervene. And
how far is it now? What do you know?
Nothing. From that day up to today. The first thing we said, our colleagues that had been illegally suspended and their money will be released. Those were our preconditions. And the money that was meant for us, that has already been paid to the House of Representatives, should be released to us. Then our proposal comes into effect. What is wrong with that?
Have they done that?
No.
I'm hearing they are saying they are prepared to do the others. They are not prepared to talk about anything that talks about speakership.
So let us all urge the Supreme Court to interpret its decision. We said, if the Supreme Court comes with it and say our position is just as the Minister of Justice said, that's in the crisis.
I'm sure the Supreme Court may not. I'm not a Supreme Court.
But
I'm sure the Supreme
Court of duty.
But somebody
is a betrayal of the Constitution.
But there is
an abdication of their responsibility.
But lawyers are saying the Supreme Court is not forced to interpret a bill of information. They say the Supreme Court can decide whether to act or not.
My brother, in an instance like this, where the sanctity of our governance system is at stake, you think that it is within the right of an individual or a group of individuals to make a decision that negatively impact the country? Really? So, if you say that, I have the right, and I'm protected by the Constitution, to go to the section of the House of Representatives and say and do anything I want to say, nobody can hold me for that. Are you telling me that if I walk on the day of the State of the Nation on that stage and say there will be no State of the Nation, I will not be in my right? We shouldn't go that route. There are certain things that you think that is in your route, but you should do it for the good of the country. We are making this decision to come back to session so that we can rush the resolution of this crisis before the State of the Nation.
That's why
the Supreme Court can short-circuit that process by properly interpreting its decision, and this whole thing will be over. So nobody else, you can't tell me, say, the Supreme Court has no right. The Supreme Court is under mandate of the Constitution that where any the branches of government disagree, it must interpret the Constitution. Any lawyer that says that the Supreme Court has right, this is not a land case. This is a constitutional interpretation. That is the mandate, that's the first responsibility of the court.
That you are the House Minority Leader now, Ability, do you think it places additional responsibility on your shoulders to work around the president again to see whether you can resolve this matter?
Yes, and I will do that. I've started doing that. I've sent a signal to the president. We want to solve this problem. We're not beg on anything. The only thing we beg on is to rule of law.
What's the root cause of this problem, if I may ask, Ability? What do you know?
I think the main cause is that the executive does not want to be checked. They don't want.
The executive does not want to be checked.
They don't want to be checked. They just want to run and
to check, and so they throw monkey range.
They
split all of you.
Not necessarily for the but the flow was too hard for the executive.
The flow.
The flow of the House of it was too hard for them.
But when you see you're doing anything here, they see you're invite people, they can't throw, they go. You didn't do anything here. We're gonna have the flow.
But it was still supervision. It was still, but look at what is happening. The one you say we do nothing, compare it to the last 3 months.
No, that's one para plow.
Exactly.
But for ceremony, you're doing the same thing.
The guy who said 9 years ministry or agency enjoy himself, he's having a free day. He doesn't care. Nobody will call him. No committee will go to him.
You think the problem will be resolved?
It must be resolved. It will be resolved. One way or the other, it will be resolved. As I told you, we are also instituting additional legal actions within the next 48 hours.
You want to go to court too? You talking about the minority?
Yeah.
You go to court again?
It's in our state, yes. You know, we will try to solve this problem.
To sue for what?
Let it think out. I'll send it to you. Then you can read to it. But we'll notify the public in our statement. And we'll take additional actions. But we want to
what do you say to people who think Funanti is tired, he wants to leave, but he got somebody like Ability telling him not to leave? Ability is the one leading all these legal things now. He wants to fight.
Everything is called with Ability. Everything. When the conflict in the house, Ability. Liberty Party, Ability. What is why are you still on the one Ability?
Check yourself.
I'm fine. You just don't like people who tell you the truth.
Are you okay?
I'm very, very okay.
Why Ability?
Belete because he doesn't take all the nyama that other people can take. So they just think that what you call me? I'm here. I ran for deputy speaker. I lost. People conspire against me. My own people that are away. They conspire against me. They gave the position away. I don't complain. We come here. We say, there's an you say Funati will move. We say okay, let Funati. When Funati move, let high election. Who you go behind or say your high election? So I say okay, look. In the meeting with the president, I said, Mr. President, if this thing is about the fact that Rachel Kuhn and his people don't want to face me and because the vice president said
the truth is you want to be speaker.
Right now, I don't want to be speaker again.
You don't want to be again?
No. So I told the president at that time that if this is the reason why our colleagues are afraid for the follow the rule, I will resign. I was not run.
Because at some point,
that was the
vice president said in one meeting that any attempt for a new speakership election, I will support Belete. Because it's about Nimba now.
Yeah, that statement.
You think they fear people?
That statement that the vice president made was not a statement in my favor. But I'll respond to that at the appropriate time.
It was not in your favor?
It was not in my favor.
You were playing politics?
Yes. But at this time, I don't want to bother myself. I will focus on the resolution of this thing. It's clear to me, even I'm hearing that the reason why the Senate rushed quickly to endorse the majority is because they were threatening that if they don't do this,
it's because of you.
Election and Belete will be speaker and Belete will come after Nyomli. Why come after Nyomli? Me and Nyomli were in the same party and I lead the party. Why come after? So saying the whole thing is about Belete and the country is being held, I have said, and I'm saying it to you right now, during the period of this crisis, I don't want to be speaker.
Because but how people don't say it's about Belete. At some point, Belete is the only man he can.
I have the right to be speaker.
Belete is the only man he can make minority leader.
Right now,
Belete is the only man that can be spokesperson in the meeting.
The Supreme Court and the executive have conspired against my ambition. Are you so I recognize that I do not have more power.
Say that again. Say that again.
The executive and the Supreme Court has conspired against my ambition. And so at this point in time, say they don't want to.
How the Supreme Court knew?
Because if the Supreme Court says that what the people did is ultra-virus, they should have said it clearly so that it will put us in a position where we'll go for election.
But Belete people
refuse.
But people think
so. Say Belete, let me forget about this speaker business. Now that solve the problem.
But a lot of people think you're a game player. They say you play game. How can you be with Kofa? You say you want rule of law. You recognize Kofa. At the same time, you negotiating. You want to be speaker.
This is the position of our group. We have said after we try to get the quorum, and there's no quorum, we have said if we come together, the fairest thing, if the speaker has lost the capacity to do his work, the fairest thing is for him to resign. When we come together, the speaker will resign and we'll have election.
You think the men will come?
28 men.
Let me tell you.
28 men.
Let me tell you something. You think the men will open any speakership election where you get 28 and you join in the men and may take some number?
It's okay. Saying that what is scared of, then let's resolve it amicably and then let's agree on one person as the speaker. And I'm saying I will not put up myself for that purpose. Let's end this thing. Let the rule of law survive. It's a political battle. They say he who fights a runaway lives to fight another day.
They say you.
I'm wrong.
They say you coming from one.
What happened today can happen tomorrow.
You forming a new party?
It's not my right to do so.
Are you forming a new party?
Is it not my right to do so?
Tell me.
You want to join the executive now?
Are you
to impede on my right?
Are you forming a new party, Belete?
I mean, I'm partyless right now.
Belete, you know I'm your man.
Yeah, but I'm partyless. That you my man off the camera, not on camera.
Musa Belete is Nima County representative. He says in studio as our guest, we're talking about the legislative impact. Interesting discussion. Belete will always be an interesting guy. He said the executive and the judicial conspire. They don't want me to be speaker. Let me open the line. So we got like 5 more minutes, but I'm sure we can squeeze in few callers here. If you are a member of the House of Representatives, I have an exclusive line for you. You can call me. Even though the man is now a member right now, but he used to be, so out of courtesy, I will take a former rep. Clarence, great. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Clarence.
The general.
Let me say Happy New Year again to you and Honorability Institute. And let me appreciate his pleasant and splendid presentation that he made today. I just have a concern, and he raised that concern before. The concern wherein if this impasse is not resolved and they live with it, how does he see the stability of the legislature where a 37% that compose a simple majority jump out tomorrow morning, like what is done to Speaker Kofa, and say, we don't want the next person who is Speaker. Okay. And they say, we can't sit under you because the Supreme Court left it in a limbo, for example. They say, we can't sit under you, Musa Belete, for example, or we can't sit under you, Clarence. Don't you think that will be the highest number of coup in the legislature, instability in the legislature, and this thing should be resolved?
Thank you, Gray. Probably I can take only 3 or 4. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year.
Many happy return. Let's hear you. Call your name. Go ahead.
My name is Ali Patikuma, Begin family, and around the car.
Okay, family.
I want to commend Mr. Ability. You see, so for say you saga talent, like with the quality people are the minority black to join the majority black, so I want to do it. Now, then wishing we that when people talk, or people you not expensive, but today you see the chapter very now break down. They're taking the people money now to see the ready thing. Why waste our time, Mr. Ability?
Okay, why waste our time? Next caller. Hello.
Good morning, Clarence.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ability. Honorable Ability. I will just make 3 quick points.
Yeah, just call your name. Maxwell Grisby. Go ahead.
That's my former chairman in the city, so I can be very cautious. So the first one is, Mr. Ability, representability have said it right. If he feels that the procedure for electing speaker was not done properly, there's room for judicial review. I think he should proceed to do that. The second point is, Speaker Kong will not subject himself to any election, and I'm speaking as one of the legal counsel to Speaker Kong. He's not going to subject himself to any election, except the minority that ability has becomes the majority. Because the 43 men will continue to oppose anything that can facilitate the minority until they become majority and they remove it. The last one quickly is that there's no impasse in the legislature. Every day you see members of the majority black joining, minority joining the majority. The minority, there are no more meetings joining the section like they did for almost 2 months. It shows that it's become very weak. And the only thing that will happen is that they will join the majority. Okay. Maybe in the next 8 months to a year, they could become the majority of part of these people.
Thank you. I think this one could be the final right here with former Superintendent Janji Bakwe. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Clarence. Let me say good morning to our ability. Thank you for your splendid deliberation this morning. You see, Clarence, from what is happening in the House, it has trickled down to the various communities. Whenever you see the breakdown for the rule of law, people believe not to go to court anymore. We have seen for the past 4 months the increase in mob violence, the increase in domestic violence, and they are extended everywhere. This is the reason why the Supreme Court is under obligation to make sure they do the right thing for the Liberian people to move on. The court is being held hostage, nobody cares to know about NLDT anymore. And we need to look at it from different perspectives so that it cannot derail the peace that we enjoy today. So I think accountability is doing well, and I thank you for his election, but I think they need to stand for the law. The rule of law needs to be respected at all times. Thank you.
Benito, let's come back to you, man.
Yeah.
Many and tell us.
There's a quote that says, wish that with your people, that your guy over there, your executive that dealing with wish that you would tell the Supreme Court to end this thing. We're not wasting anybody's time. We're doing our work. The Supreme Court can end this thing today. If the Supreme Court feel that we are wrong, if they come out to say our action was wrong and the other poor action was right, end of story.
You think the Supreme Court will be clear like that? Maybe the court don't want to be seen as being political.
The Supreme Court referenced 2 actions and said they were ultra-virus.
Article.
One was meeting, the other one was actions. We didn't take any action. We never had any extra meeting. All the 2 things the Supreme Court referred to as ultra-viral were taken by the other people.
They are interpreting it differently.
Exactly.
So every group is interpreting the way it's
Yeah. And then, so I want to thank Akaras, for standing with us throughout, and we're proud of you. And like the white man say, how we miss you. We wish a fighter like you would be with us today. And to Grace Bay, I'm very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. You know, Grace Bay orientation is from the party that was built on the rule of law. All the law he learned, he talking about the mayor will not subject to election. I mean, really?
Yeah.
This is a house whose membership become member through election. And then he say the process that has been clearly defined in the constitution, he said the mayor will not subject to that. Let them do what they want to. For us, at this point in time, like he said rightly, they are in the majority. We have only two options, and he's right on that. Either we go in the house, make our case, and continue to make our case, or the court will make a final determination. We are not in majority in the house, so therefore, all we can do is to make our case every day. And we'll wait for the court to make a decision.
Okay. Thank you so much, Billy T, for coming. This is how we go home tomorrow. We'll be here. Coming up next is Liberia at 10 with Maurice Willett. I'm out of here. My name is Piso. Bye-bye.